Kelly. It is exciting to be here. Thanks so much for including me with these distinguished speakers to talk about this topic. Listening to some of these statistics, the challenges seem almost overwhelming in Georgia, as they are nationwide. The graduation statistics, the problems with kids not getting through post-secondary education. I'm here to talk about something that's incredibly good news in Georgia. Thanks to Kelly, other folks at the Georgia Public Policy Foundation, and members of their board, thanks to legislators in this room, there are some rock stars in this room that have done something in terms of getting this legislation passed that does give us parental choice in education, in K through 12 education. I'm going to throw some numbers at you. I'll keep it brief. Also want to tell you some lessons learned that should help us as we try to expand parental choice in education. It's working. It's making tremendous strides and tremendous improvements in our state, and there is tremendous demand for it. So, as Kelly mentioned, thanks to the efforts of all these folks, all these education reformers, in 2008, the Georgia General Assembly passed House Bill 1133, the Georgia Education Expense Tax Credit Program, and it was signed into law by Governor Sonny Perdue. That tuition tax credit program provides tax credits to Georgia taxpayers who make contributions to student scholarship organizations called SSOs. That's what GOAL is, an SSO. The SSOs have to use those contributions to provide tuition grants to eligible students to attend accredited private K through 12 schools. Eligible students are any child that's in kindergarten, pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, or first grade. Starting with grades 2nd and above, the child has to be moving from a public school into the private school. Back to the components of the tax credit and how it works. For a married couple filing a joint return, you can get a credit of up to $2,500 for making an investment or a payment into an SSO of that amount. An individual taxpayer can get a credit of up to $1,000. Importantly, C corporations, businesses that file and pay their own income taxes, can get a credit of up to 75% of their Georgia income tax liability for the year by making that investment in a student scholarship organization. I do serve as president of the Georgia Gold Scholarship Program. Currently, there are 37 SSOs recognized by the Georgia Department of Education as eligible to receive these contributions and to provide these scholarship awards. But some of the SSOs are much more active than others. GOAL has received 33%, 1/3 of all dollars contributed statewide since this program became law in 2008. So we are the state's leading SSO. Much of our success is due to the vision, the guidance, and the leadership of our GOAL Board of Directors. There are a couple of those individuals here today. Terry Hartman is with us, and the chairman of our board, Rick Gilbert, is with us. And we owe such a debt of gratitude to them for their leadership. Thanks. I'll briefly hit on the lessons that I think have been learned in the 3.5 years as we've embarked on this parental choice program. The first one comes from just examining the raw data of our results in these years. It shows how incredibly popular this program has become so quickly with parents, of course, who are seeking ways to have access to schools that will be better, their children will be better suited for, will get them on a path to success. With private school communities who are embracing the opportunity to bring in students of diversity into their communities, and with Georgia taxpayers who have just gotten on the bandwagon in record numbers. Let me just sort of set the stage. Each year, the state sets aside $50 million of these tax credits. Since 2008, tens of thousands of Georgians have contributed more than $122 million under the program. GOAL has received $40 million of those dollars. $10 million have come from corporate contributions. 200 corporations have made the investment, totaling $10 million in this program. $30 million has come from 15,600 individual taxpayer contributions. The amazing thing about this, those people are now school choice advocates. They are fired up about what this means. They realize they're giving a student an opportunity. They are on fire for this cause. It's something they might not have thought about 2 or 3 years ago. Now the scholarship side, and this is the reason for being for our organization, we have obligated $38 million of those funds raised for scholarships. About 4,000 students so far have been awarded a gold scholarship, More than $22 million in tuition grants have been spent to this point. Another $15.5 million has been earmarked for future year awards for those students as they continue through those private schools, and for additional scholarships for other students in the future that come forward whose parents choose to send them to a qualified private school. With the rapid growth in the popularity of the program, for the first time in 2011, the entire $50 million of available tax credits was consumed. It was completely gone by the 1st of November. This is bittersweet because it's wonderful how popular this got, but Goal alone had to refund more than $2 million worth of checks to more than 1,000 taxpayers who were denied trying to get their share of the credits toward the end of the year. It makes sense. People like to do this toward the end of the year, a tax credit opportunity, but it's now a foot race to get to the $50 million and to get a share of it. So the popularity of this program and of the GOAL program leads us to the second lesson. There's tremendous grassroots support for an increase in the cap on available education credits each year. Now, our legislature did give us an amendment last spring that does increase the cap somewhat. It's now tied to basically a cost of living index, so between 2012 and 2018, each year it will be tied to the rate of inflation. What that means for 2012 is it will increase by about 3% to $51.5 million. That's something, but in contrast, for example, in Florida, in 2010, they raised their cap on their tuition tax credit program to $140 million, with an automatic escalator of 25% each time taxpayers consume all of the cap. In addition, there is a bill introduced in Florida legislature this year that would increase their cap to $250 million. The third lesson that educational choice advocates can take from the success of the GOAL program is the fact that most of our 115 participating schools all around the state have used this program purposely to expand the racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic diversity of their student populations. This reality is a profound rebuttal to those who oppose parental choice in education on the grounds that it will perpetuate alleged discrimination and elitism in private school communities. In fact, even though there is no limit or mandate on recipient income in the law, GOAL participating schools have overwhelmingly embraced the GOAL suggested guidelines on income and scholarship award amount. As Kelly mentioned, as a result, since the inception of our program, the average household income of scholarship recipients adjusted for family size is $25,285. The average scholarship award amount is $4,162, more than $5,000 less than the amount provided for by law, allowed by law. In many cases, those school communities are investing some of their own financial aid to make this happen for the parents who are seeking admission to their school. The fourth lesson is that business leaders have decided that they can no longer rely only on the public schools to educate future generations of Georgians. The Georgia GOAL Scholarship Program, its participating schools around the state, and organizations such as the Georgia Independent Schools Association are proving to be responsible stewards of investments by the business community to help children get on a path to success. The fifth lesson is that contrary to regrettable and unsupportable opinions of some opponents of educational freedom, parents are very capable of making informed decisions about what are the best options for the education of their children. Each week, our staff receives articulate and impassioned pleas for this type of scholarship assistance. Our participating schools receive even more. With that, in closing, I'd like to briefly share with you an expression of gratitude from one of these students who has received the GOAL Scholarship. This statement is from a young man named Austin Mulligan. He's a high school sophomore attending Benedictine Military School, an all-boys Catholic school in Savannah. I was at a meeting at the school and I heard him stand up and make these remarks. The GOAL Scholarship Program is more than just a scholarship. It is an opportunity given to me who may come from a less fortunate family, but has every potential to rise up and do better. I am one of those fortunate people who received the GOAL Scholarship, and I can tell you one thing for certain. I was the proudest person alive to know that I was given the opportunity, not based on how wealthy my family is, but on who I am as a person. Benedictine is the best school I have ever attended, and this is my chance to show the world and myself what I can do. At this school, we are changing the world, and I wouldn't be a part of it but for the Gold Scholarship. By receiving Gold, I made a promise not only to the school but to myself and my family that I will be the best I can be and do the best of my ability. This is what real wealth really is. He got a standing ovation after he made those remarks, and suddenly many other people in the audience decided they wanted to grab a share of these tuition tax credits and make this type of opportunity possible for more kids. So Georgia has created a new model for the delivery of K-12 education. Parents, school communities, taxpayers, and the business community working together to provide relief and hope for thousands of children toward an improved K-12 path for themselves. We've got a lot to be proud of, but we can't rest until all families seeking relief have an option. Thank you.